Okay, so I know it's supposed to be Spiral 2, but I don't have Spiral 2, so it's going to be called Spiral 3. Not a big deal. So I'm going to, let's make this quick. Um, divide. So, I mean, I know it says, what do you call, um, if you have a calculator, this is not challenging at all. But I'm hoping that if you don't have a calculator, you'll change this to improper fraction. So that becomes 5 times 1 is 5. It's 6 over 5. Divided by, so that's negative. And that's 6 times 1 is 6. 11 over 6, but negative. So right away, it's a negative divided by a negative. So I know my answer is going to be a positive number. So right away, I can take this guy out, take this guy out. So now I can divide, and remember, it's a when you divide, we multiply by the reciprocal, right? So it's going to be negative 6 over 11. So I know it's positive. 6 times 6 is 36, and at the bottom, 5 times 11 is 55. So the only one that makes any sense is C. So, but anyways, point is you could have gotten rid of A and B. Vincent bought a 25-pound bag of ice. Okay, he cooked rice. Sorry, he cooked 6.25s of that bag. He posted the rest. He stored the rest of the rice in 3 3/4 round portions. What is the maximum number of 3 3/4 portions? So he had a big pack of rice, right? 25 pounds. Of that, he used 6.25. And if you subtract 6, you're going to get 18.75, right? This is how much he has left over. So 625 minus 6.25 is 18.75. And this is going to break it up into portions of 3.3 3/4, 3 3/4, 3 3/4. So how many 3 3/4 portions can he make? Obviously, he can make quite a few. So it's 18.75, and we're going to divide that by, and again, you can divide it as a fraction. So 3 3/4, you can use 3 3/4, or you can use 3.75. And honestly, it really doesn't matter. So if you have a calculator, you can use it, and I don't have a calculator that allows me to put fractions, so for me, I'm going to use 18.75, and I divide that by 3.75, and I get 5. So I can make 5 portions of 3 3/4 pounds each. 3, which situation can be represented by the equation y equals 8x. So let's see. Nearly bought X items at a store. Each item costs $8. Neela spent a total of Y dollars at the store. All right, okay, so that seems like a possibility. That makes sense. She baked Y patches of cookies. There were 8 cookies in each batch. Nearly baked a total of X cookies. No. Nearly correctly answered X questions on the quiz. Each question was worth Y points, so no. That's already a no. Nelly received a total of 8 points in the quiz. So the total, this no, because that looks, no, that would not be it. Nelly earned $8 for babysitting, possibility. He also earned X dollars for mowing lawns. So this is already completely, so there's 2 things going on here. He earned a total of Y dollars for babysitting and mowing lawns. Okay, so we don't know how much he got paid for mowing lawns. So this is definitely not it. So question A is the letter A. Situation A is the only one that makes any sense. In a game, Janice started with 0 points. She earned 50 points, lost 80 points, and earned 10 points. So which number line shows her ending score? Well, if you start to 0 and you earn 50, so we're adding 50. Then you lose 80 points, which means minus 80, and then you earn 10 points. So that's what it will look like. So 50, 0 plus 50 is 50. 50 minus 80 is negative 30. And then negative 30 plus 10, you're still in the negative 20. So it looks like this one, right? Because every mark here is 10, 10, 20, 30. So negative 10, negative 20. Chico is saving for new shoes that cost $87. He already has $9. He will save the same amount each week. Chico wants to buy the shoes in 6 weeks. Okay, so what's the least amount? Well, we gotta solve this. So minus 9 here. Let me draw a line in the middle. Minus 9. That 9 goes away. 6x comes down. Greater or equal. And 87 minus 9 is 78. And then divide this by 6. Divide this by 6. Cross, cross. X is greater than. And that's gonna be 12. It's 78 divided by 6. To be precise, 78 divided by 6 is 13, exactly 13. So what's the least amount of money he has to save each week? He has to save at least 13 or more. Anything that's 13 or higher. Sunflower seeds contain pea packets. This box, okay, so there's a bunch of packets of sunflower seeds. Okay, I'm not. And each packet of sunflower contains S seeds, so there's S seeds in here. S seeds. And there's a box, right? So in this box, there's all these packets of sunflower seeds, right? All these packets. And which equation can be used to find the number of sunflower seeds in the box? Well, the box is going to find how many sunflower seeds. We're going to multiply the seeds times the packets, right? So in each packet there's a certain amount of seeds, and if we multiply it times the packet, the total is going to be S times P. So oh, and I can't hear. B is the total. So B equals SP. Is there anything that looks like that? Yes, there is. Questions? Pause this for a second. 7. Roll of 80 quarters weighs 8 ounces. Which proportion? So again, proportion is what you did a lot last year. So as long as you set your proportion, and one thing that you can do to help you out, always write the units. Ounces, ounces, and then let's write QT for quarters. QT for quarters. So what I know here, and I'll put a column here, what I know. I know that if I had 8 ounces, it's the same thing as 40 quarters, right? That's 8 ounces. And on the other side, I'm trying to find the weight in ounces. So this is going to be something I don't know. And at the bottom here is 200 quarters. So if 8 ounces is the same as 40 quarters, how many ounces is, 200 quarters? So we need to find our answer. So one way of finding this is to find a relationship, and I'm pretty sure you're tired of this because you did so much of this last year. So we can find a relationship, and the relationship here is a times 5 relationship. Right? 40 times 5 is 200, and over here, the same thing. So 200 quarters would weigh 40 ounces. Okay, you know that these are like equivalent ratios, right? Use the number line below to answer the question, which number is 4 units away from -1? Wow. Okay. So again, going back. The -1 over here. 4 units over could be 1, 2, 3, 4. Could be 3. Or if you have 4 units over, it doesn't say to the left or to the right, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're looking for either number 3 or -5. Well, there's no -5 here, so the only other answer is 3. 9. Tracy has $35 to buy comic books and to pay for a movie ticket. Okay, each comic book is $3. The movie ticket costs $10. How many comic books does she have? So she has $35, and whatever she's spending here has to be less or equal to 35 because she doesn't have any more money. What does she buy? She's buying a movie ticket for sure, so she's spending $10 on movie tickets. Plus, she's buying comic books. And we don't know how many comic books, but I do know it's $3 per comic book. So that's my inequality. Does it say solve? No, it doesn't. So I'm looking for something. Okay, so I see what they did here. Let's move. I'm not liking any of these, so hang on. Well, one thing I can tell you, it's not 10B and it's not 10B because each comic book is $3. So C and D is out. Now, why would they write it in this manner is a little bit weird. So $35 minus all the comic books has to be greater than 10, right? Because here, this is what this says, right? So I personally, if I were to write this in multiple choice, this is what I would write. But we're gonna have to rewrite this in a different way. So first of all, the top one says $35 minus all the comic books has to be less or equal to $10. Well, that's not true. No, $35 minus all the comic books have to be greater or equal to 10 because she needs at least $10 left over to be able to buy the movie ticket. So your only answer that works in this. Now, if we were to play around with this equation, and let me just rewrite it again. 10 plus 3b less or equal to 35. Let's move things around. No. Huh. What a weird question. Oh, I'm sorry. What a weird multiple choice answers. $35. Each comic book is 3 big, so blah, 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 plus 10. All the comic books plus the $10 that you spend. The movie ticket has to be less or equal to 35. That's right. Now, no, the only one that makes sense is B. I'll leave that alone. 10. Diana had a coupon for C dollars off, so obviously it's a discount. She bought 2 boxes of crackers for $4.50 each, and then she also bought 8 cans of soup for S dollars. Total amount of dollars she spent on the cans of soup is represented. Which expression also represents the total amount in dollars she spent? Well, obviously, here's the expression, so one of these A, B, C, D is equivalent to that one, and to find that out, you would have to do the distributive property. So 2 times 450 is 9. 2 times negative C is 2C. And then plus 8S. Is there anything that looks like this? Yes, there is. And that's letter D. 11. Michael paid a total of $48 for 4 pizzas. Use a coupon for $4 for the entire order. The equation below can be used to determine the regular price of pizza. What's the regular price of one pizza? So the equation is done for us. We have to actually solve it. So it's going to be right plus 4 here, plus 4 here, 52. 4p divided by 4 divided by 4, and p is 13. So each pie costs $13. 12. The current temperature is -7. The high temperature was as many degrees above 0 as the current temperature is below 0. Which expression could be used to find the number of degrees between the current temperature and yesterday's high temperature? So the current temperature is -7. So let me draw it because this is a little bit confused. So its current temperature is -7. The high temperature yesterday was as many degrees above 0. So let me put a 0 here. That as the current temperature is below 0. So it's currently 7 degrees below 0. So yesterday's high was the same distance away from 0, but on the positive side. So yesterday's high was +7. Now, which expression could be used to find the number of degrees between the current temperature of yesterday and today? So, what's the difference? So, if we were to measure the distance between 7 and -7, which of these could we use? Well, remember the distance is not negative, right? So, what's the distance from 0 to 7? Well, there's 7 over here, right? And what's the distance from -7 to 0? It's also 7, right? Find the absolute value of those two. Absolute value is the distance between those 0 and 7, and the absolute value of negative 7 is the distance between 0 and negative 7. So if we add those two, absolute value of 7 plus the absolute value of negative 7, we know the distance is 14. So just imagine yourself in the elevator and you're negative 7 floors underground and you want to go 7 floors up. What's the difference that you would have to travel? You would have to travel 14 floors. So which of these 4 options here gives me an answer of 14? D. 14. Use the expression below to answer the question. Which expression is equivalent to this one? Oh my god. So for this one, I'm going to simplify a little bit. Okay, I can combine like terms. I'm going to combine 8y and negative 9y, so that's going to be negative y. And 20 minus 21 is going to be negative 1. Okay, so all this stuff is this. Which of these 4, which expression is equal to negative y minus 1? So there's a little bit of work to do here. So let's do the first one. So I'm going to do the Strude property. So it's 2 times 10, 2 times this, 2 times that. So it's going to be 20 plus 8y minus 7y minus, and 2 times negative 19 is negative 38. So if I combine like terms, will this equal to negative 1 and negative y? No, I can tell it's not, because 20 minus negative 38 is going to give me negative 18 already. So A is gone. B, change colors. So it's 2 times 10, which is 20, plus 2 times 4a, which is 8y. And then it's negative 3 times the 3 inside, right? So I'm doing this one. So it's going to be negative 9y. And negative 3 and negative 7 is going to be plus 21. Well, the middle terms here, 8y minus negative 9y, gives me negative y. So that's okay. But 20 and positive 21 is going to give me positive 41. And also not equal. So that's not going to be anywhere near. C, 4 times 5 is 20, plus 8y minus 20y minus, and 4 times 17 is 68. So again, if I combine like terms, would that give me negative y, negative 1? This obviously does not. Okay, so C is also gone. So just by default, the one that we want is D. And I will just do D, just because I'm curious myself. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 8 is 8y. And then negative 3 and positive 3y is negative 9y. And then negative 3 plus 7 is negative 21. And you can clearly tell that this will result in this. So we were right. Because 20 and negative 21 is negative 1. And 8y minus 9y is negative y. So we're good. 15. Last question. He wants to buy at least 60 paintbrushes. So if you want to buy at least 60 paintbrushes, it's telling me that you need to have 60 or more. Okay, so if I'm looking at this, you can already tell that C is going to be a goner and A is going to be a goner because they both have less than signs. So those two out. Just by knowing this. That's what my first sentence says. So he has 22 brushes already. So he already has 22 brushes. And he's buying more paintbrushes in packages of 8. So there's 8 in each package. Which inequality can be used to find how many packages of paintbrushes P he needs to buy in order to have at least 60. So at least 60 again is greater or equal to 60. So this one looks like this one. Okay. That was easy. That's spiral 3.